Breaking now at 9, we're following a deadly stabbing inside a D.C. library. I'm Tasmin Mahfouz.
Hi, I'm Chris Flanagan. Here is what we know at this hour. That attack unfolded inside the Petworth Library on Kansas Ave just before 7 p.m. Officers say the victim was inside the library when the attacker walked up and stabbed him in the neck, killing him. A person is now in custody.
Now, officers do believe that this was a targeted attack. They say the attacker and the victim knew one another. They also believe they were homeless. And now investigators want to make clear that there is no ongoing threat to the public at this time. The library is open tomorrow as usual.
All right, let's get a first check on the forecast now. Tomorrow could be nasty with some torrential rain.
Chief Meteorologist Jessa Webb is here. We're ending the week with the DMV First Warn Day, Janessa.
Oh, yeah, we have a very active weather pattern that's about to make its way into the DMV starting very early tomorrow morning around 6 a.m. You're going to start to notice the influence of this area of low pressure that is really causing severe weather outbreak across Dallas-Fort Worth at this time. We have a confirmed tornado out that way, and that squall line continues to be super impressive across areas of the deep south. So this storm system is not super organized at this point, but the center of low pressure will continue to really rev up. We do have a tornado watch in effect out towards Dallas, into areas of Arkansas, into Louisiana as well. Look at all these warnings. I mean, they're spreading across the upper Tennessee Valley into the Ohio Valley as well. And some alerts that we currently have: an ice storm warning for Garrett County, a winter weather advisory west of I-81, and coastal flood watch across the district out of precaution due to this torrential rain that is going to make its way in late evening tomorrow evening around 7 a.m. to about midnight is that window where we're going to watch some embedded thunderstorm activity and flooding rain. On top of this, what you are not seeing is a high wind advisory in place also for Garrett County, and that's likely to spread here in the next 6 to about 12 hours. So your evening planner tonight still very quiet. Really, we'll start to track in that moisture overnight. By 3 a.m. temperatures still in the mid 40s. This is a multi-component storm system. We'll break down the timing coming up.
All right, developing now in South Carolina, disgraced lawyer Alex Murdaugh has been convicted of murdering his wife and son. It took less than 3 hours for the jury to reach that verdict in the sensational double murder trial. Murdaugh was convicted on 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of possession of a weapon in the commission of a crime. He now faces 30 years to life in prison without parole. The trial spans 6 weeks. Murdaugh also faces about 100 other charges ranging from theft to insurance fraud in a separate case.
The way that we see this is it's very different. This is the D.C. Council put changes forward over the mayor's objections, and the president doesn't support changes like lowering penalties for carjacking.
And the White House press secretary explains President Joe Biden's controversial tweet concerning D.C. Council's efforts to overhaul the criminal code. Now, Biden said today that he sides with the Republican-led effort to block it and not veto it.
But this goes against the D.C. Council, who has supported revising the more than 100-year-old code. The president's tweet also getting pushback tonight from those who support D.C. statehood, something President Biden insists he still wants to see through. During today's press briefing, journalists hounded the press secretary with questions, leading to some tense moments.
You all were asking me.
More than the self-governance.
No, I'm saying both things can exist at the same time.
I'm not sure that they can.
Okay,
if I'm being honest either.
Our Daniel Hamburg has been gathering reaction tonight, including from some of the people who helped author that bill. He joins us live tonight in studio. And Daniel, proponents of the revised criminal code fear this could set a bad precedent.
Well, Chris, those wanting D.C. statehood, this isn't helping their case. If the Senate overturns the revised criminal code and Biden signs off, it would be the first time in more than 30 years that Congress has overturned a local law that was related to the height limits of building in the districts back in 1991. But most people we've heard from argue this impacts their daily lives much more.
Look, you're either for D.C. sovereignty, or for D.C. statehood, or you're not.
People in D.C. are frustrated at the proposition of a local law being overturned by a Congress they have no vote in.
If the people of Washington, D.C. have elected a council that wants to pass through this revised criminal code, whether you agree or disagree with it, a Democratic president who says he supports D.C. statehood should veto this law.
But that's not the way President Biden sees it. This from Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
Lowering penalties for carjacking, he doesn't believe that's going to keep our community safe. So if the bill comes, he's going to take action.
It's disappointing to hear that the President of the United States is going to side with lawmakers from outside the district who are voting to undo 16 years worth of work by local prosecutors, defense attorneys, legal scholars.
Patrice Sultan is a former senior attorney advisor to the Criminal Code Reform Commission. She says the focus on penalty reductions is misguided.
For the most part, the penalties that exist in the revised code are years longer than the sentences actually being handed down in our courts today.
Sultan says these revisions are way past due.
We have no laws on the books for a lot of things that people expect you to have statutes for. There's nothing that defines what manslaughter is. There's nothing that defines what assault is. We have no self-defense statute at all.
More than updating the law, she worries this congressional action sets a bad precedent.
To see that we're going to lose in a way that D.C. hasn't lost before is alarming. And I think people should be really concerned about what that means for our right to self-govern in future.
Now, the House voted to override the bill 3 weeks ago. It could pass in the Senate likely next week. Again, President Biden says if that happens, he will sign it. In the studio, Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
And now to a disturbing story out of College Park, Maryland. Tonight, the city's former mayor is facing dozens of child porn charges. He resigned last night, just hours before his arrest. Our reporter Yamari Sase covers Prince George's County and talked to neighbors who were shocked by the allegations.
Yeah, 47-year-old Patrick Willion is facing 56 counts involving child pornography. Now, not too long ago, after a search warrant, police recovered several devices, including multiple cell phones, a computer, and even tablets inside his home. Now, police say it's very early in the investigation, but this entire incident is disturbing. Patrick Willion, now former mayor of College Park, is being charged with more than 50 counts of child pornography, and he could face more.
We do anticipate further charges. We are still working diligently with our partners at Maryland State Police to evaluate all the evidence.
The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children notified Prince George's County Police Department that a social media account contained and distributed suspected child porn.
Any person who considers themselves to be trustworthy to hold office or hold a position in society, that it won't be tolerated. And we send a clear message to anyone involved in this type of material that the units like this, they're looking at working every day to make sure that we have a safe county and a safe state.
Police recovered several devices from Woyon's home Tuesday. He was taken into custody and charged on Thursday. We knocked on Woyon's door to see if anyone was home. Someone answered, but then closed the door. The news did leave people in the area surprised.
It's really shocking. I can't really believe it. It makes me wonder what else might be going on with some of the other people on the council.
In a statement, the city of College Park says, "We are shocked and disturbed by the news. What has come to light in this investigation is a total surprise to us. The city will respect the process of this investigation and will cooperate fully with requests for information." Now, a hearing is scheduled for tomorrow, and later on tonight, you'll hear from neighbors to talk about how this incident is actually impacting the community. For now, reporting in College Park, Maryland, I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
So Woyon has served as mayor of College Park since 2015, and before that, he was a College Park City Council member for 8 years. So a special election will be held within 65 days. Now, in the meantime, Mayor Pro Tem and District 4 Council member Denise Mitchell will serve as College Park's presiding officer. Mitchell previously ran against Woyon in the race for mayor.
Meanwhile, happening now in Frederick County, Maryland, an urgent search for a missing teenager. 15-year-old Lopez Funes was reported missing on Saturday. He was last seen Friday night in the area of Albin Court. As you can see, he has dark brown hair and brown eyes. He stands about 5'6". Funes is considered a critically missing person due to his age. Police are urging anyone in that area where Funes was last seen to check their security cameras around the time that he disappeared.
And new tonight, we now know the name of the man killed in Northwest D.C. last night. Police say 29-year-old Marvin Johnson Jr. was shot and killed on V Street.
Multiple rounds were fired by multiple shooters. Bullets also striking an innocent bystander, damaging cars and busting through apartment windows. Our Mario Carbone is live for us at the intersection of 14th and V Streets tonight, where cops are still canvassing that scene today. And Marielle, police are calling this a brazen shooting.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. And police tell us a lot of bullets were fired out here. One of them even going so far as to hit a 4th-story condo window. Now, we know the person who lives there is okay, but talking to people who live and work in this area today, they say that the gunfire, it needs to stop.
It was like boom, 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 and I looked out my window and I thought, was it shooting? No, it sounded too mechanical.
But Joe Puzo was wrong. Bullets piercing the windows of cars and condos on 14th and V Streets Wednesday night, killing one man and injuring a woman walking down the street.
I mean, it's gotten to be a very dangerous area.
Thursday, you could still see the aftermath. A man fixing this window hit by the gunfire.
I hate to say it's not unusual, you know, but that's kind of, we get used to hearing things like that.
Emily Kahn lives in the neighborhood and says daily push notifications by police alerting her of shootings, burglaries, and carjackings in the area have her more cautious.
Yeah, I'm a little more alert, I think.
According to DC crime data, violent crime so far this year is down 9% in Ward 1 compared to the same time last year. But homicides are up by 37%.
The scene is becoming too normal, honestly, for DC.
Andy Shalal is the CEO of Busboys and Poets. This is the second Busboys location to have a homicide happen just outside its doors in recent months. The other happened outside the Anacostia location in December.
It just shows you that this is happening everywhere.
He'd like to see the gunfire stop and the community step up. It's why Shalal puts this sign in the window, "Thou shalt not kill."
To approach this in a more holistic way so that we're not always coming back to this and looking at the chalk marks and saying what could have, should have, been done.
And so Shalal wants to see more community members get involved in finding some of those solutions, and there are opportunities to do that in the coming days. Councilmember Brooke Pino is holding a roundtable on gun violence, and you can weigh in on that, join that, a virtual meeting tomorrow, and then on Saturday you can speak in person at the Anacostia Library. We'll get those details up for you on our website, that's dcnewsnow.com. But for now, reporting live in Northwest DC, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
And a superintendent surrounded in controversy decides to resign. So what's next for parents and students in Virginia? A look at what the governor is saying about the future of education in the state. Plus,
showcases were broken, there's stuff everywhere, and it's barely recognizable.
A Metro bus crashes right into a jewelry store. The owners at a total loss. How they're picking up the pieces.
plus, we're stretching your dollar tonight. We're showing you how to wisely pay down your credit card debt. Stay with us.